Hey guys, it's Fantasy King back again with another video. For round 5 I done pretty alright. I mean, there were a lot of coaches that done better than me, but I'll take a 2181 any day of the week, especially after a 1900 last week. Yeah, so I scored 2181 and my round 5 rank was 14,000th, which put me into the 15,000th overall, which must be said, I'm slightly getting there. I'm slightly improving. I had a rocky start to the year, and now I'm going to try and improve and at least get myself to the top 1,000. So, here's my team from round 5. My plus 3 belongs to Curtly Hampton. 119. I was thinking about getting rid of him last week, but I'm going to keep him for a few more weeks. He was just amazing. My minus 3 goes to David Swallow. I was in the mix between him and Took Miller, but I chose David Swallow because he's not going to be selected for the next round, so I traded him out. So as you can see in my defense, it was pretty impressive. Nick Newman didn't play, which was the only downfall, but he comes back in this week, which is good for me. Andrew Maguire scored the least in my defense with a 60, but I'm not too fussed with that because he's a rookie. Rory Laird, Sam Doherty, done good as usual. Taylor Adams was a bit disappointing, but I could take an 88, and Caleb Marchbank was good with another 70. In my midfield, I have Patrick Dangerfield with 117. A lot of people were really criticising him and how St Kilda were his weakest opponent. Well, he just proved people wrong critics wrong with a big score of 117, mainly because of the last quarter, because he scored like 60 plus points in the last quarter, so he was saved by the last quarter there. Trelaw, I should have put captain, 144, that is massive. Tom Mitchell, 122, he was also good. Nat Fife was a bit disappointing of 87, but it wasn't a high-scoring game in fantasy between Freo and North, so I can forgive that. Dyson Heppel, 93, he hasn't been too good in the past few weeks, but I'll hold. Dane Beams, 126, very impressive. Like I said with David Swallow with 60, I'm going to trade him out. And Sam Powell-Pepper 60 as well, which I'm going to trade out in 1 or 2 weeks time. My bench did not play. My rucks, Stephen Martin was my captain, 121, cannot complain about that. And Toby Nankervis, how about that, 131. I mean, I know he was up against no rucks throughout most of the game, but I will take that any day of the week. And none of my bench players played in a ruck either. Then you get my forward. Luke Dalhouse was really good. Hoskin Elliott was disappointing. Same thing with Took Miller. I expected a little bit more with Parfitt. Butler was okay, and Houston was good. And in my bench, I had Jared Pickett, he's done awful. People thought he was going to average 50, but he hasn't even come close to that, and I'm going to trade him out next week for James Parsons. Here we have with the trades, round 5 trades. Hoskin Elliott out. I think he's made enough cash. His break-even is 70 odds, so he's not going to make much more cash from here on in. Aaron Black in, even if he gets a bad score. I think he's got good job security now. He was really good against St Kilda, turning up with 100 points. And even if he scores a 40 or 50, he will play the week after, I believe. And he will go up heaps on price. His break-even's like negative 24. So if you did not have him, get him in right now. My other trade was David Swallow out because he's not playing. Was very good in the first 2 weeks when he played, but he got 48 and 60. So I decided to trade him out and put in who else but the pig, Tom Rockcliffe. He has been amazing, and he is my captain for this week. Finally, we have my team. My defense is filled out. It was hard for me to pick who was going to be my bench, because Andy Ott and Andrew Maguire have had a pretty solid season so far. They've made a lot of cash, but I put Nick Newman on the field because he's been consistently good so far this year. Surprisingly, he was dropped last week. I don't know what's with that, but um, all my other defenders, Taylor Adams, Rory Laird, Sam Docherty, don't really need to say much about them because they're premium. Caleb Marchbank always gets the job done with 70s. Curtly Hampton, he's just going to keep on making cash. My midfield have Tom Lockliff captain. He hasn't had a good past 3 games against Port Adelaide. He hasn't turned up in the past 3, but the games before that he's went bananas. So I just hope he goes back to his good old form against Port and score massive. Alan Chalor, I don't think he's going to score absolutely big this week against Geelong, who have a star-studded midfield, much like Collingwood, but I just don't think, despite how consistent he is, I still think he'll turn up, but I don't think he's a top 3 captain pick. Patrick Dangerfield, my vice captain, not much I can say. He just pumps in good scores week in, week out. Same thing with Tom Mitchell. He was my 3rd option. Nat Fife should bounce back with 100 against West Coast, and they're struggling a bit right now. I actually tip Fremantle. Dane Beams, I reckon he will turn up again. He's made quite a bit of cash as well, which is handy. Dyson Heppel, if he doesn't start performing now, within a few weeks, like if he doesn't turn up within the next 3 weeks, I might consider trading him. And Sam Powell-Pepper, like I said, I'm going to trade him out in 1 or 2 weeks' time. Not much I can say about my midfield bench. I hope Barrett plays again because he's made quite a bit of cash and he's on a negative break even, so I've tried keeping him, but I just hope he gets named soon. He's listed as an emergency. I just hope someone's a late out so he comes in. And Jared Pickett I'm going to trade out next week. My luck, Stephen Martin always gets job done with 100 or more. And Toby Nankervis has done really good in making cash this year. My bench, Braden Bruce and Darcy Cameron, not expecting them to play. And my forward, I have Luke Dalhouse, who should turn up again this week. Took Miller, which I hope. I was initially going to trade him, but since David Sweller was an out, I had to keep him. I hope he scores at least a 90. Dan Houston, he should just keep on making cash. Same thing with Parfitt. Black is going to start making a lot of cash. And I put Ballack in over Butler in my forward line. I mean, Ballack isn't as consistent as Butler because Butler pumps constant 60s, but I want to rank as high as possible. Ballack got a 70-something against Melbourne, so I just hope he does that again against West Coast. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like if you did, and I'll give you another video once round 6 is completed. Until next time, I'll see you later.